here is Joe Biden telling those lies about Social Security. And do we have like one of the clips ready? Just
it's already cut.
Okay, here we go. By who? Jordan who?
Jordan Ewell.
Okay.
And I want you just to be straight with the American people. I am saying that you have been on the floor of the Senate time and time again talking about the need to cut Social Security, Medicare, and veterans programs. Is that true or is that not true?
No, it's not true.
That is not true?
That is not true. What is true is,
when I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. I meant Medicare and Medicaid. I meant veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing in the government. And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time.
Were you on the floor time and time again, for whatever reason, talking about the need to cut Social Security and Medicare and veterans programs?
no, I did not talk about the need to cut any of those programs.
Senator, we have a deficit. We have Social Security and Medicare looming. The number of people on Social Security and Medicare is now 40 million people. It's going to be 80 million in 15 years. Would you consider looking at those programs, age of eligibility,
Absolutely.
cost of living, put it all on the table?
The answer is absolutely, you have to. Social Security is not the hard one to solve. Medicare, that is the gorilla in the room. And you've got to put all of it on the table.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, whoa is right. I mean, look, he got Biden to lie about that in front of the American public, like in an incredibly bold way. And, you know, I honestly think that Sanders was in a very, very tough position. I do think that 9 super PAC thing was his one opening. Because you don't want to press too hard in this environment. I understand there are people out there like, yes, you've got to go hard at him, but look around at your neighbors. Look around at your neighbors. They're the thing that they're thinking about right now is not about the Democratic primary. They just want someone who is competent insofar as that, like, they can tie their shoes, and the way that they're making, you know, the determination about their skill set after that is just like, well, everyone else signed off on them. Andrew Yang, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar. Biden made a deal to accept Warren's bankruptcy bill, which rolled back much of the bill that he wrote. And so I guarantee you can ask your average person, did Warren endorse Biden? I think so. I think I just read something like that. He just made some agreement with Warren, right? That's what would happen. I mean, this is just the situation. And walking a tightrope, walking a total tightrope. We have one more clip of that debate?
Yeah, we got this. Well, we have the thing where Biden talks about the bankruptcy thing.
Okay, let's hear the bankruptcy bill. And again, this is a smart move by Biden. And, you know, smart move by Warren. In terms of her set of agendas, do I think that he will do it? Maybe.
He also embraced the $125K higher education means testing program, too.
Yep. I mean, he's adopting some of Warren's stuff to make it look like, you know, it's as much about his adopting these proposals and bringing people along as much as it is that. It's also a way to sort of like project that he is a unifying force, that he's bringing everybody together. And that's even, you know, within the context of this coronavirus thing, it's a big deal now, right? Because people aren't like, wait a second. And this is what Biden tried to do in the entire debate. And this is, I think, where Sanders needed to do one more thing. The entire debate by Biden was about, like, we're in this crisis moment now. What are we going to do now? You can talk about Medicare for all, but what are we going to do now? He tried to make it very tangible and whatnot. And it's very difficult for people to go like, wait a second, means testing on free college, you need to have universality about this program. When it's like, there may be an entire high school class who does not go to college next year. They may do their high school class over again. I mean, we just don't know how this is going to turn out. And sort of like, wait a second. I know that you're worried about this pandemic, but the universality versus the $125,000, that's going to mean that 20% of college, I'm sorry. It's a very tough time to make that argument. What Sanders needed to do, and I don't think he did this, was to say, the fact is, Joe, you can talk about all these proposals to deal with the crisis now, but if one of us wins, we're not in office for almost a year. And in a year from now, everything that you're talking about, that ship may have sailed. And you want to take everybody back to the normal times of the Obama administration because you thought they're so great. Well, they may have been, maybe they weren't. In my opinion, there was problems. But neither one of us could do that now. At the other side of this coronavirus thing, at the other side of this pandemic, we're going to have to build a new normal. How are you going to build that new normal, Joe? What's it going to consist of? How's it going to protect us from stuff like this in the future and from other events that we can't see? How are you going to create more social cohesion at a time when, to survive, we need to separate from each other? What's your new normal going to look like? We're up here, we're not arguing about the past. We're arguing about the new normal. We're arguing about the future. And frankly, I just think that stuff like Cuba and whatnot, Biden was able to bring him to the past. Here is Biden talking about lying again about the bankruptcy bill.
President Biden, yesterday you endorsed an Elizabeth Warren plan that would undo key parts of the bankruptcy law you helped pass in 2005. A few hours ago, you announced support for making public college tuition free for families who make less than $125,000 a year, something Senator Sanders has supported. What changed?
Two things. Number one, let's talk about the bankruptcy bill. The bankruptcy bill was passing overwhelmingly, and I improved it. I had a choice. It was going to pass, a Republican president, Republican Congress, and I offered two amendments to make sure that people under $50,000 would not be affected, and women and children would go to the front of the line on alimony and support payments. That's what I did. It passed overwhelmingly. I did not like the rest of the bill, but I improved it, number one. Number two, I've talked with Senator Warren about her proposal. This is the first opportunity we've had to make substantial change in what we couldn't get done in a Republican administration. That's why we talked 2 nights ago, and I supported her proposal. And it's a good proposal. It's a solid proposal. And she should get credit for having introduced it. With regard to what we're talking about in terms of college education, I've been saying for a long time that we're in a position where 12 years of education is not enough for the 21st century. We need 16 years of education. The exact bill that Senator Sanders introduced, I guess a little over a year ago, capping it off at $125,000 in income. You could get free up to that point. After that, you'd have to pay for your college education. It only worked for public schools, and it would work for public universities in your state. I support that idea. It was a good idea, and I support it. And so that's what it is. And I'm not saying everything Bernie said has been wrong. He happens to be right on that one.
You had, in Warren's 2002 review of Biden, she said the Center of 36 years played a crucial role in passing the bankruptcy legislation over the objection of unions and consumers. This is the first bill. The second bill was an add-on to that, the 2005 thing. Biden was instrumental in getting that passed. Just Google it. See people a year and a half ago talking about this. This is his legacy.